The lights of Madison Square Garden glowed with the kind of electricity that only a major prize fight can create. Thousands of fans filled the historic arena, knowing they were about to witness a clash between two of boxing's most recognizable names. In one corner stood Terence "Bud" Crawford, the undefeated champion from Omaha, Nebraska, a fighter many believed was the best pound-for-pound boxer on the planet. In the opposite corner stood Amir Khan, the former Olympic silver medalist from Britain, a man whose career had been defined by breathtaking speed, spectacular victories, and heartbreaking defeats. As the final instructions were delivered in the center of the ring, both fighters locked eyes. There was no need for words. The tension hanging in the air told the entire story. Crawford was defending his throne and looking to make another statement to the boxing world. Khan was chasing redemption, determined to prove that he still belonged among the elite. When the opening bell rang, the first few moments unfolded exactly as many expected. Khan moved quickly, bouncing on his feet, flashing the hand speed that had once made him one of boxing's most feared offensive fighters. His jab darted out with incredible quickness. Every movement carried urgency. Every punch was fired with the intention of reminding everyone that speed could still be a weapon at the highest level. Across from him, Crawford remained calm. He wasn't rushing. He wasn't forcing exchanges. He was doing what had become his trademark throughout his career, collecting information. Watching, measuring, calculating, the champion had built his reputation not only on his skills, but on his ability to solve puzzles. He often spent the opening rounds downloading data, studying timing, distance, and tendencies before unleashing his offense. While Khan appeared busy and energetic, Crawford seemed content to observe. But beneath that calm exterior, danger was brewing. Suddenly, everything changed. Khan extended his jab, and in a split second, Crawford spotted an opening. A perfectly timed counter right hand exploded through the gap. The impact was immediate. Khan crashed to the canvas. The garden erupted. For a moment, disbelief swept through the arena. Crawford had spent much of the round quietly studying his opponent, only to produce a devastating knockdown with one perfectly placed shot. It wasn't a wild punch thrown with desperation. It was a calculated strike delivered with surgical precision. Khan rose to his feet, but the damage was obvious. The knockdown had shaken him badly. Crawford sensed it. Like a predator detecting weakness, he immediately began pressing forward. The measured observer transformed into an aggressive hunter. Every step narrowed the distance. Every movement carried menace. Crushing right hand landed again. Khan stumbled. Another shot followed. The challenger's legs looked unstable as he desperately tried to survive the closing. Seconds of the round. The crowd stood in anticipation, wondering if the fight was already about to end. But somehow Khan reached the bell. The opening round had lasted only 3 minutes, yet it felt like an entire fight compressed into a single chapter. Crawford had announced his presence with authority, and suddenly the narrative surrounding the contest had shifted dramatically. Between rounds, Khan's corner worked frantically to steady their fighter. They urged patience and composure. The challenge now wasn't simply winning rounds. It was surviving long enough to recover. Back in action, Khan attempted to regain his rhythm. To his credit, he refused to surrender mentally. Many fighters would have become tentative after suffering such a knockdown. Khan instead tried to re-establish his jab and fire combinations. Brief flashes of success appeared as his speed created openings, yet Crawford looked increasingly comfortable. The champion's confidence was growing with every second. He began mixing feints into his attack, forcing reactions and creating uncertainty. He probed with his jab. He varied his rhythm. Every movement served a purpose. What made Crawford so dangerous wasn't simply his power. It was the intelligence behind every action. He constantly manipulated his opponents into making mistakes. Khan knew he had to stay active. If he allowed Crawford to dictate the pace, the fight would become even more dangerous. Occasionally, he landed sharp combinations that reminded everyone of the talent that had carried him to world championships and global recognition. But the champion remained unfazed. Whenever Khan found success, Crawford calmly adjusted. A jab here, a counter there, a body shot, a sweeping right hand. Small moments gradually tilted the battle, further in Crawford's favor. One of the biggest, talking points entering the fight had been Crawford's remarkable ability to switch stances. Few fighters in boxing history had demonstrated such mastery from both orthodox and southpaw positions. Early in the contest, he spent time fighting conventionally, but as his confidence grew, the switches began. Orthodox, southpaw, back again. The transitions were seamless. For Khan, every change created a new problem to solve. The angles shifted. The punches arrived from different directions. The timing became harder to predict. What looked confusing to the audience was even more difficult inside the ring. Meanwhile, Crawford's corner delivered an important message. Don't chase the knockout. It was easy to understand why they felt the need to remind him. After dropping Khan in the first round, the temptation to hunt for a spectacular finish was enormous. Fighters often abandon their strategy when they sense vulnerability, but Crawford's trainers wanted discipline. They wanted boxing. The knockout would come naturally if he remained patient. As the middle rounds unfolded, that patience became visible. Instead of loading up on every punch, Crawford focused on breaking Khan down piece by piece. He attacked the body more frequently. He forced Khan backward. He controlled distance. Khan continued fighting bravely. Every time it seemed he might crumble, he fired back with combinations of his own. The courage was undeniable. So was the determination. Yet there was a noticeable difference in power. When Khan landed, Crawford absorbed the punches and kept moving forward. When Crawford connected, Khan's reactions told a different story. His legs stiffened, his posture changed, his confidence appeared shaken. The champion was gradually tightening the screws. Round after round, Crawford's pressure increased. His eyes never left the target. His expression remained cold and focused. He looked less like a boxer participating in a contest and more like a strategist executing a plan. The fourth round showcased that evolution perfectly. Crawford began landing heavier combinations. Body shots dug into Khan's midsection. Hooks whipped around the guard. Straight. Left hand snapped the challenger's head back. The pace accelerated. The pressure intensified. For the first time since the opening knockdown, Khan appeared genuinely overwhelmed. A vicious right hand landed. Another followed. The crowd roared as Crawford sensed momentum shifting decisively in his favor. Khan remained standing, but survival had become the priority. Observers watching ringside could see it clearly. The challenger was no longer dictating exchanges. He was reacting, and reacting against. Crawford was one of the most dangerous positions any fighter could find himself in. Despite everything, Khan continued showing heart. He refused to stop throwing punches. He refused to quit. There were moments when he landed clean shots that briefly interrupted Crawford's rhythm. Each success generated hope among his supporters, but those moments were fleeting. The champion always responded. A counter, a jab, a hook, combination. Every answer reminded everyone why Crawford was considered one of boxing's elite operators. By the fifth round, the atmosphere inside Madison Square Garden had changed. Completely, the audience sensed that the ending was approaching. Crawford looked stronger, sharper, more confident. Khan looked increasingly worn down. Then came another major moment. Hard right hand from Crawford landed. Flush. Khan staggered again. His legs betrayed him. The champion immediately attacked the body before bringing punches. Upstairs, it was a textbook display of offensive boxing, body. Head. Body, head. The sequence forced Khan into survival mode once more. The challenger tried firing back, but the power wasn't there. The punches lacked conviction. Meanwhile, Crawford's confidence continued to grow. He stalked forward relentlessly. Every step communicated dominance. Every punch carried bad intentions. Commentators described him as a shark smelling blood in the water, and the comparison felt accurate. The champion knew the fight was slipping away from Khan. He simply needed the right moment to finish the job. The sixth round began with Crawford firmly in control. The tactical battle that had defined the opening stages was largely gone. This had become a contest of attrition. Khan was battling not only Crawford but also fatigue, accumulated punishment, and the psychological weight of knowing he was behind. Then controversy arrived. During an exchange, Crawford landed a shot that strayed low. Khan immediately reacted. The referee stepped in. There was little debate about the legality of the punch. It was ruled a low